Today, brothers and sisters, we engage a very familiar text. Today, we engage a very unique situation involving a woman who has an issue with bleeding. Let us today attempt to unpack this woman's situation. For as long as the Bible has been canonized, this woman has been named or made known by her case of her issues. Issues, something everyone has, issues, something everyone deals or put up with, issues, something everyone seeks to avoid. Issues are those things that keep us up late at night as we toss and we turn and pace back and forth in our houses. Issues are those things that you hate to see coming and glad to see going. Issues are the things that try to destroy the wall designed to protect you, only to allow something so small to take you out. Issues are the things we suffer through. Issues are the things we try to wait out. Issues bring other issues. Matter of fact, issues begot issues. Brothers and sisters, issues are a dangerous thing because if issues have issues way, issues will have you doubting the very thing you stand upon. Issues will have you turning against your family. Issues will have you hating your brother. Issues will have you hating your sisters. Issue will have you fighting nations and killing innocent people. Issues is not a respecter of person. Issues, brothers and sisters, will have you playing Russian roulette. Issues will drain you. Issues will intentionally keep you wounded and keep from healing and your heart from mending. Issues will try to conquer whoever and whenever. The text informs us that this woman not only has an issue, Brother Kirkland, but brothers and sisters, she has an issue with blood. Blood, Sister Bevel, is viewed as the fluid of life. The flow of blood determines in many cases if one is still alive. In many cases, blood and life are interchangeable. In many cases, life and blood are inseparable. If you have an issue with blood, brothers and sisters, you have an issue with life. So I believe, brothers and sisters, the text is not just referring to the issue of flowing liquid or the issue of flowing blood, but the text also is speaking of a woman who has an issue with life. Brothers and sisters, I believe if we were to be honest here today, many of us have or has an issue with life. Issues with our past, the life of our past. Issues with the life of our future. Issues with the life of our present. Issues with the life at work. Issues with the life at home. Issues with the life at church. The life at school. The life of the marriage. Issues with the life in our relationships. Issues with the life in our social affair. And when looking at blood in this passage, brothers and sisters, interchangeably with life, I believe I can say that life can be messy. Life is not always fun. Life in many cases stinks. Life in many cases can be a bully. Life in many cases can be a trip. Life in many cases can be a stumbling block. Life for some has made you wish that you were never born. Life for some of us make us want to throw up our hands and quit. When you wake up in the morning, can you imagine seeing yourself waking up to a pool of blood? When you wake up in the morning, can you see yourself lying in a pool of wasted life? When you go to sleep, can you find yourself waking up to or going to sleep in a pool of blood? Or can you see yourself going to sleep in a pool of wasted life? Life bleeding from the inside. Are y'all with me tonight? Life bleeding from the core of you. Flowing life that has developed hurt, Jasmine. Flowing life that has developed distance. Flowing life that has developed broken relationships. Flowing life that has developed guilt. Flowing life that has developed shame. flowing life that has developed blindness, flowing life that has even developed bitterness, flowing life that has developed purposelessness, flowing life that has developed a sense of hopelessness. Brothers and sisters, are you bleeding tonight? The interesting thing about this flow of blood or the flow of life is that this bleeding, my brothers and sisters, is far greater than a monthly menstrual cycle. For if it was a menstrual cycle, one can see it coming and care for the issue, knowing that it will not last always. This bleeding, brothers and sisters, is far greater than an average cut or a gash or a wound. For if it was just an average cut or an average gash or wound, one could bandage it up with hope of it healing one day. But beloved, this bleeding came from a place that would not heal over a cycle of time. The bleeding came from a place that would not pass over a span of time. This bleeding by far was not seasonal, brothers and sisters, for yet every day for 12 years, the text says, this woman dealt with this issue. That is 4,380 days of the same issue. That is over 105,000 hours of the same issue. Are y'all with me tonight? The text progresses and states in verse 26, as I paraphrase, in this woman's search for help and guidance, she visited physicians. But the text states that she endured much under their care. Brothers and sisters, this verse stood out to me because it verifies that all help, brothers and sisters, is not good help. Everyone that say they have your best interest doesn't really have your best interest, brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters, it brings me great sorrow to tell you that though someone has a degree from an accredited institution, that does not verify that they are good help. A plaque, brothers and sisters, or an award on the wall does not verify someone to be good help. But brothers and sisters, this text makes us aware, I wish y'all were praying with me, that there are those who prey on people who are bleeding. Are y'all with me in this text? Here it is, she's battling an issue for 12 years. And she is not getting better, but the text says she's getting worse. The doctor doesn't say, I don't have the remedy for you. The doctor doesn't say, I can't help you. But the doctor continues to take her money, knowing that the doctor can't help her. All help, brothers and sisters, is not good help. And there are those who prey on those who are bleeding. I want you to take inventory of your row and ask your neighbor, are you one of them? Are you one of them who stand on the side watching me bleed, just hoping that one day I will pass out, that you may take my joy, that you may take my life? Won't you look at your neighbor and say, are you one of them? Are you sitting on the sidelines hoping that I get injured, that you may take my position? Are you one of them? Are y'all praying with me tonight? The text, brothers and sisters, progress and states that for 12 years she gave all she had in hopes of getting better. But brothers and sisters, she only grew worse. The illness our sister was facing could not be cured by money. Actually, the text says the more money she spent, the worse she got. That may be you today. You may rather spend money and put your hopes in other methods and theories and antidotes. But beloved, money does not always guarantee you the results that you want. So I know some of you are asking, brother preacher, it's getting close to that time. What is the lesson in the text? I can relate, brother preacher. I am experiencing some of these same issues that this woman is facing in the text. So what is the lesson in the issue of bleeding? Y'all gonna pray with me? Give me 5 minutes. The first lesson is that God will keep you. Pray with me. The first lesson is that God will keep you. For the text states that for 12 years, this woman dealt with an issue of bleeding. Though, brothers and sisters, we can sympathize with the woman's issue in bleeding, we can rejoice in the fact that while she was bleeding, God was still keeping her. That was a shouting moment. While she was bleeding, God was still keeping her. Here she is losing life. Sister McMichael, she's losing life from her body, things that people die from, and yet she is still living. That is a testimony that God will keep you. Look over to your neighbor and say, I know you're still bleeding. But ask him, is God still keeping? Don't look at your issues and complain about them. Don't look at your situation and frown about them. Rejoice in the fact that God is still keeping you. The grace for the journey is that God will keep you when you're losing your mind. God will keep you while you're losing your life. God will keep you when you're treading upon great waters. God will keep you when you're experiencing these different things to show you that God is still God. Hoosier, why you want to know why you're still alive? It's because God is still keeping you. High five your neighbor and say, he's keeping me. He's keeping me. Five them and say, he's keeping me. Brothers and sisters, I felt kept in the arms of my grandfather. But in 1998, Brother McMichaels, my grandfather transitioned to glory. But I'm glad I can say that I'm now being kept by Jesus. I remember my grandmother singing, oh, to be kept. Y'all not praying. By Jesus, kept by his power divine, kept from the world unspotted, treading where Jesus trod. And I can hear her right back in her rocking chair and said, oh, to be kept. Y'all not praying. By Jesus, Lord, at thy feet I fall. She would say, I, Brother Jared, would be nothing. And she'll think about it again. She'll say nothing. And when she see herself in the scripture says we're nothing but filthy rags. She'll say nothing one more time. For she said, thou shalt be my all and my all. Not only does the Lord keep